What's going on, everyone? So Luka officially has finished the FIBA World Cup. He finished in 7th place after winning his final game against Italy, 89-85. And this is good for him, right? Because now he can go get some rest, get ready for this upcoming season. He's going to have a full season under his belt with Kyrie Irving. He's got some nice young new players, some new additions, right? A couple rookies, right? Like, so there's a lot for him to be excited about heading to back to the NBA with the Dallas Mavericks, and he's going to get some rest that he really needs, right? Luka suffered an injury, and it looks like it's something that could be very bad and potentially detrimental for the Dallas Mavericks, right? Luka is their best player. He is their franchise cornerstone. He is their most important player. And if he is injured throughout the course of the season, that could spell very bad for the Mavs and, of course, Luka. So here's what exactly is going on. So Luka was asked about the injury, and he said, "I do not know what to say. It's not okay. At the same time, I have to prepare for one more game." He was talking, this was heading into the Slovenia-Italy game. But he said, "At the same time, I have to prepare for one more game and then for a whole season in the NBA." He added, "I play no matter what, even in the Olympic qualifier, if only I'm healthy." This was in regards to Luka suffering a thigh injury in March. He subsequently had an MRI that revealed no damage, according to Adrian Wojnarowski. Now, again, he has no, permanent, significant damage, but Luka has said several times over the course of this, Olympic thing, hey, it's not good. He's fighting through it. He's playing through it. It hurts. It's bothering him. And if it's not something that he has time to properly rest and heal, that could be very bad for, again, the Dallas Mavericks, right? There's still a lot of questions about him and Kyrie. Is Luka going to be able to play with another star, right? Another superstar. He is one of the most just highest usage rated players ever. I mean, the guy is basically the entire Dallas Mavericks, everything, right? The ball is always in his hands. There have been questions about, is he going to be able to play with a Kyrie Irving? And is he going to be able to play with this team and this roster, right? Put it in perspective, Dallas last year was better with Kyrie on the court without Luka than with Luka without Kyrie. Now, granted, again, small sample size. They traded away basically all of their defense. Kyrie and Luka also didn't have much time to play together. Luka was injured at times, right? There's a lot that goes into it, right? So I do want to cut them some slack and some break. But I look at Dallas and, I've even talked about this before, I'm not really sold on them, right? I don't know if they're going to be that good this year, right? I wouldn't be shocked if they kind of end up in the same position they were last year, right? Grant Williams, I think, was a solid addition, but I don't think he's this huge needle mover, right? Rashard Holmes, I think, is a nice quality player, but he's undersized, right? Seth Curry gives them more shooting. That's great, but Dallas didn't need that much. They needed defense, right? What are they going to do with Tim Hardaway Jr.? I imagine some of their, kind of up-and-comer guys like Josh Green, I think, will continue to have some good moments. Jaden Hardy, Derek Lively, they're super high on him, but he's a rookie. How much of an impact is he going to have, right? There's even kind of questions about just the center position. Your centers are really, Dwight Powell and Maxi Kleber, right? I don't think they're going to be very good defensively. I look at some of these other teams in the West, and it's just who are they definitively better than? I think best case scenario, they're the 7th or 8th seed, right? They finished 11th. But let's go through this. Are they better than the Thunder? I don't know. How good is Chet this year, right? SGA, you imagine, is just going to continue to get better and continue to take those steps. All right, the Thunder were very surprising last year. Although, if Dallas, I think, they could have surpassed them if they wanted to. They just chose not to, right? Kind of rested everyone and tried to go for that pick. Okay. But the Thunder, they could be a problem. But okay, let's give the Mavs the nod over the Thunder. The Pelicans with Zion and Ingram healthy were the 1 seed in the Western Conference and had like the best plus minus out of like the entire league. Like, it was ridiculous. Now, how much of that was just like maybe that little stretch, right? You look at a team like Utah. They were like even the 1 seed at one point and then finally came crashing down, right? So like that could have just been a nice little stretch. But, you know, the Pelicans are a pretty nice team, right? I think that they're better front to back than the Mavs are. Personally, you know, is Utah take another step, right? They could be tough, but they're behind the Mavs last season. So let's say that they still are, right? Okay. Let's say you give them the nod, right? Let's say you give them the nod over the Pelicans. So that moves them into the 9th seed. Then you have the Timberwolves. I don't think they're better than the Timberwolves. I think the Timberwolves are too big. I think Anthony Edwards is going to take that next step, going to take that next leap and be a real problem, right? So, you know, I don't think that they're anywhere close to the Timberwolves. But some people might disagree. Some people might think otherwise. Let's put them to the side. The remaining teams in the Western Conference are the Warriors, Clippers, Suns, Kings, Grizzlies, Nuggets, Lakers. The Dallas Mavericks are not better than any of those teams. They're not better than the Warriors. They're not better than the Clippers. They're not better than the Suns. They're not better than the Kings. They're not better than the Grizzlies. Now, obviously, there are circumstances for all of this, right? The Clippers can't stay healthy. If they can't stay healthy, do they fall apart? Warriors, right? Like, Warriors are like month of Steph out from being in trouble. But if everyone's healthy and everything's great, the Mavericks aren't better than 7 teams, at least. Lakers got better. Denver is still Denver. The Grizzlies, we'll see, right? Like, there are question marks. Are they going to be able to weather this storm with Ja Morant missing 25 games? And even when he does get back, how does that look, right? Because he's banned from all basketball activity right now. So is he able to just jump right in and be totally fine? Or does he take, 20 games to kind of get right? So maybe the Grizzlies, like you could see the Grizzlies slide, but I don't think they're better with Ja. Right? So it's like Dallas is playing for what? Like at best, the 8th seed? Again, let's say that they're even keel. Because like, if you want to make the argument that they're better than the Timberwolves, I personally don't see it, but sure, I'll give you that, right? Let's say that they're, close. That means both of those teams are fighting for the 8th seed, right? If you give them the nod over the Thunder and the Pelicans. But in reality, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're still the 11th seed. And I wouldn't be surprised if this team implodes at some point, right? I mean, it's not like Kyrie has had the best track record as of late. And again, can they actually work together? If they can't work together, what happens? Is Dallas even able to trade Kyrie? I mean, the Nets wanted to trade Kyrie, but they didn't really have many options. And now the Lakers aren't desperate like they were last year. Lakers are actually in a great position. You can make an argument Kyrie is the last thing the Lakers need. So I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like Dallas might be in some big trouble. And if Luka isn't 100%, because that's kind of the one equalizer, right? Is Luka is so good, so talented that he can kind of elevate this team, right? That's kind of like the one argument. That Luka is good enough to probably maybe get you into that 6th seed, right? Like maybe you could fight, right? Like I said, especially if like the Grizzlies or you get an injury somewhere or something like that. It's like Luka is so good, he can keep you close, right? To where if a couple things fall your way, now you're in that 6th seed. But if Luka is not able to be Luka, then I think Dallas is in big, big trouble, right? Like, I don't really know how to gauge that, because personally, I just don't think that they're better than at least 7 teams in the Western Conference. And so, could they be that surprise team? Every year there's that surprise team. Every year there's that, that team or two that, like, people think are going to be terrible, and it works and it clicks, and maybe they actually are pretty good defensively, and maybe the pieces do fit well, and maybe Kyrie and Luka are one of the best duos in the league, and everything works out, right? Like, so you never know. Like, I don't want to say, book it, they're going to be trash. Like, I don't want to go that far, but, like, I wouldn't be shocked if they completely miss the play-in. I think that they're a play-in team at best. I think at best they're a 7th or 8th seed, and they're playing for a play-in. Just to end up having to play, the Nuggets or the Lakers or somebody like that and get beat in the first round. And I don't know, especially if Luka's dealing with an injury all year, because he doesn't have time to rest it. Because again, like, he's going to have like a week, and then he's going to be jumping into training camp. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, to say the least. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? Do you think this is concerning? Do you think it's not? How do you feel? Whatever your thoughts are, love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments.